You are walking to your car at night. A wall socket catches your eye. 2 holes and a slot. Nothing more. But your brain doesn't see a socket. It sees a face. Startled. Watching you. You know it's not real. You know it in half a second. But for one flickering moment, your body reacted anyway. Your pulse rose. Your eyes locked on. Something in you was already deciding whether to run. Why would a piece of plastic in a wall do that to you? The easy answer is that your imagination is playing tricks. But the real answer is far stranger. That flicker of fear wasn't a glitch. It was a survival system, thousands of generations old, firing exactly as designed. Psychologists call this pareidolia. It's the tendency to see specific, meaningful shapes inside random noise. A face in a cloud. A man in the moon. A grimace in the front grille of an old car. Your brain isn't malfunctioning when this happens. It's doing precisely the job it evolved to do. Think about what your ancestors actually faced. Not deadlines. Not traffic. Predators. Big cats with striped or spotted coats built to vanish into tall grass. Snakes coiled the exact color of dead leaves. Rival humans hiding behind rocks with violent intentions. The world your ancestors lived in was full of danger disguised as nothing at all. So evolution built you a shortcut. A prediction engine, running constantly, scanning the chaos of shadows and shapes and sounds for anything that might be alive. Anything that might be watching. Anything that might be about to move. Here's the strange part. That system isn't tuned for accuracy. It's tuned for survival. And those are not the same thing. Evolutionary psychologists Marty Hasselton and David Buss describe this trade-off through what they call error management theory. The idea is simple, and once you hear it, you can't stop noticing it everywhere. Whenever a decision carries risk, your brain doesn't aim to be right. It aims to be safe. Picture 2 possible mistakes. First, you could see a predator that isn't actually there. You flinch at a shadow. Your heart races for nothing. Mildly embarrassing. Costs you almost nothing. Second, you could fail to see a predator that is there. That one mistake, even once, can end everything. No second chance. No lesson learned for next time. When the 2 errors are that lopsided, your brain doesn't split the difference. It leans hard toward caution. It would rather make 1,000 false alarms than miss one real threat. That single asymmetry, repeated across millions of years and countless close calls, wired an alarm system into you that still fires today. Even when the danger is nothing but a wall socket. Cognitive scientist Justin Barrett gave the system a name that sounds almost like something out of a spy film. He called it the Hyperactive Agency Detection Device, or HADD for short. The idea is that your mind is built to assume agency first and ask questions later. A rustle in the bushes isn't just wind, until proven otherwise. A creak in the house isn't just the building settling, until proven otherwise. Somebody or something might be there. Better to assume a mind behind the movement than to assume nothing and be wrong. Notice the word hyperactive. Not accurate. Not balanced. Hyperactive. Your ancestors who underdetected agency, who shrugged off every rustle as harmless wind, eventually ran into the one rustle that wasn't wind. And they didn't get to pass on that mistake. The ones who overdetected agency, who flinched at leaves and shadows 1,000 times for nothing, they survived to have children. And those children inherited the exact same jumpy, overactive alarm system. You are, quite literally, descended from the most paranoid humans who ever lived. Here's where the story takes its counterintuitive turn. This isn't a flaw you're stuck with despite evolution. It's a feature evolution selected for on purpose again and again. Being slightly wrong constantly was the price of staying alive. Skeptic and science writer Michael Shermer coined a term for this tendency to find meaningful patterns in meaningless noise. He called it patternicity, and he made an observation that reframes the entire conversation. He argued that natural selection doesn't favor the organism that reasons most carefully. It favors the organism that survives long enough to reproduce. Careful, deliberate pattern checking takes time. Time you don't always have when something might be stalking you through the grass. So which matters more, being right or being fast? For most of human history, the answer was fast. Every single time. Now think about what this system does once it's not just watching for predators. Once it's aimed at the sky, at storms, at unexplained sickness, at the death of someone close to you. If your mind is built to assume there's a hidden agent behind unexplained events, it doesn't stay confined to leaves and shadows. It expands outward. A drought isn't just weather anymore. Something must be causing it. Something must be angry. A sudden illness isn't just biology. Someone must have willed it. Some researchers who study the origins of religious belief point to exactly this mechanism as one seed of supernatural thinking. Not because ancient humans were foolish, because their minds were doing precisely what kept their ancestors alive. Finding intention behind uncertainty. Finding a face behind the noise. It's the same wiring that jolts you at a wall socket, just aimed at bigger, harder questions. Now bring it back to you, tonight, scrolling through your phone. Your predators aren't crouched in tall grass anymore. But your alarm system never got the memo. It still fires at shadows that were never physical to begin with. A headline about a threat that barely applies to you can trigger the exact same jolt your ancestors felt from a lion's silhouette. A cryptic text from a friend can spiral into an imagined conflict built entirely out of nothing but your own pattern-hungry mind filling in the gaps. Conspiracy theories thrive on the same wiring, connecting scattered, unrelated dots into a story that feels like a hidden agent must be behind it all. Somebody must be pulling the strings. Isn't that oddly comforting, actually? A frightening pattern can feel safer than pure, meaningless randomness. Randomness offers no story, no enemy, no plan to counter, just chaos indifferent to you. And indifferent chaos is, in a strange way, harder for your ancient brain to accept than an actual threat would be. So the next time you catch a face staring back at you from a knot in a wooden table, or two headlights and a grill arranged just enough like a scowl, pause for a second before dismissing it as nothing. That reaction isn't nothing. It's a message sent across hundreds of thousands of years, from ancestors who didn't have the luxury of being wrong about a shape in the grass. They stared into chaos and found a face. And because they did, so can you.